Dear listener, ClockTower is intended for mature audiences and might be inappropriate or possibly triggering to some. Many of the themes and events in ClockTower are inspired by weird fiction as well as similar concepts, which means the show can get dark. If that isn't something you enjoy, please listen at your own discretion. We here at the ClockTower care about you, so please put your mental health first. Our show will be here when you're ready.
Welcome to Season 2 of ClockTower, a D&D 5e experience. To all our old and new listeners, we're excited to have you here with us. ClockTower is a D&D campaign turned audio drama, played with a custom class and a few house rules that we as a group collectively enjoy. If you find yourself getting a little lost, there's always older episodes to guide you back to the path. With all that said, I hope you enjoyed this episode, and welcome to the ClockTower. Trinket, Sam, Jaeger, and Barrett help Jaeger get out into the field into a position that he can lay down, have his gun supported, and fire with his left hand. As Sam crouches in the grass behind him, ready to help, keep an eye on him, and watch his back. Meanwhile, Barrett and Trinket stand up and turn to start heading back towards the house. You've no idea where the two of them are currently. What are you two doing?
I kind of imagine, they're going to be searching for us. We're the freaking prey in their story, but I like having cover.
Which right now you don't have a lot of.
No. I think leaning up against the tower and waiting for them would be probably the way to go.
Do you agree with that plan of action, Trinket?
Yeah.
Okay. So the two of you, I imagine, don't want to be out in open land for very long.
But
so
we can duck around the tower if need be.
Haul ass back towards the tower and press up against it with your back to the tower and looking left as Trinket's looking right. Teddy and Mikhail. Inside the house, you guys have no idea where they are out there. As you make your way through the rest of the house, you get armed with whatever it is you have, and as you turn to look away from the stash that you had found on the floor, you see one other souvenir from your time in the Harvest Wars. It had been on the table and you weren't sure why before, but you brought it into the mission all the same, and you have looked at it with a sort of reproach since you've had it, as you see a wrought iron lantern that has a drill tip at the bottom.
Teddy looks at this lantern, and there's a sort of serenity as he looks down at this with a sort of certainty as to what's about to transpire. And without looking to his partner, he says, "Thinks about time we put this one to use," as he reaches down and picks it up by the handle.
As you pick it up from the handle, you see that there is a sort of large sort of leather and chain attachment to it. Doesn't take much to figure out how to use one of these things. You'd seen a couple of the pedal heads use them in the Harvest Wars, but they spin them up, they let them go up into the sky, and they come down on their own.
As I hold it, I imagine it feels very, very cold.
Yeah.
Much like many of the weapons that Teddy has acquired. And as he holds it, he hears the hollow sounds of them zipping up into the sky and then come crashing down. At first it was the people that fought alongside him, and then it was everybody in the distance, and then it was silence. But as he holds it in his hand now, he assures himself this is the last time he'll have to hear one of these. Because it feels like after this time, maybe, things can settle down and everything will be okay. He looks to Mikhail, says, "So I kind of got a little bit of an idea, but I'd like your input on it. They put out our fire, which ain't great, but tell you what, I think that means they're ripe for the picking, being some kindling themselves. They're not really giving us much of a choice. But I think if we're going to play this out, we got to take care of their watches. But I'm asking, is there any input you have? I'm trying to...
I don't know. It's sort of an ill omen, don't you think? This isn't ours. It kept us safe enough, but we can't call it ours.
Teddy kind of looks a little flabbergasted, and then a smile comes across his face. He's taken aback, and he says, the more we do this, I feel like I'm doing this for us. We're doing this to survive. Everything we've done, we've taken because it's what keeps us going. Sure, maybe it didn't start as ours, but it sure as hell's been ours ever since.
I'm just tired, Teddy.
So am I. I'm tired of all this shit. Why's it gotta happen to us? What did we ever do? Nothing. Our hands are forced. But tell you what, if I'm to die, some damned person, at least I'm gonna die free. I refuse. I refuse to let all of it go. We deserve better than that. We wear this. We wear it on our hearts. As he picks it up, he puts it on his belt.
There's always a choice, Teddy.
Yeah, I know. There's always a choice, and no one wants to hear ours.
He quietly nods without raising his head up again. I'm with you.
Teddy begins to turn around and storm towards the door, and then he stops, and he looks at Mikhail and says, "Listen, we've done a lot. You and me, it's been quite a journey, but I want you to know I'm doing this for us. Everything we've done, there ain't no choice. And if it's really what you want, if anything goes wrong, if something happens, and you want to go back, I'll ride that wave with you. But it's the last time. Never again. Because say what you want about what we've done. We're here. We're alive. And we're free. Now come on."
You're right.
And he begins to walk towards the back, door that they had previously, all come in.
As the two of you make your way out the back door, there's that creaking that old screen doors do. And you push it open, and it creaks closed behind you, and you see the waving grass. And you know that making your way around the left side of the building is going to take you over to where the lighthouse, the silo is. It's going to have cover for you, also cover for them. And if you were a betting man, that's probably where they would go. If they're not out there in the grass. And since you haven't been shot at right now, you're assuming they're probably not out in the grass beyond on this side of the house. If they are, it might be on the other side of the house.
In the silence, as the breeze rolls by, Teddy calls out, "Now I know you're out there, 'cause you ain't all, spry and gunning, and, I remember most of things. So, if y'all want to talk this one last time, I'm offering it. I've been very, very considerate. It may not seem like it, but y'all have gotten a lot farther because my buddy here, well, he's a lot nicer than I am. But that's all right. Now's your chance. But before things get a lot uglier, and they will if you let them, let's have us a little talk. Try again."
Couldn't agree more.
You hear Barrett's voice echoing kind of distantly, but from the side of the grain silo. You were right.
"Come on out."
I'm already stepping out.
Okay. As Barrett rolls out from behind cover, Teddy, what are you doing?
"Is your buddy all right?"
What's left of him?
"Well,
He's not a
alive.
scarecrow yet.
Let's keep him that way, yeah?"
Agreed. As he relaxes a little bit and kind of leans back on the silo, arms crossed. Aren't you guys done with this? Aren't you guys tired? We will never be. They will never be. What is the point of this?
"Well, let me tell you something. Since you saw the same things I did, you and Grin sound like you had a lot more luck than we did. A lot of things kept people surviving out in the harvest wars, but you see, it wasn't luck that kept us alive. It was me. It was Mikhail watching my back. It was me doing every single thing I had to make sure that I'd wake up in the morning, that I'd see this damn tower one more time, for all the good it did me. Now, you asked me if I'm tired. Yeah, I'm tired. I've been tired. You say you're not tired, that you won't be. All right, maybe not now. How many more grins until you're tired? There, Barrett?
There'll never be enough. That's for sure. Just like you and your friend. What I'm trying to tell you here is, you don't have to be counting anymore. We all stopped counting a long time ago. Except for you two. Which I don't think you can count that high anymore. If you can't remember your count in the first place, then what's the fucking point?
Oh, I remember my count. See, how about, you already sound like you're ready for it. You're ready to lose everything that makes you you. Why don't you just throw your damn pocket watch out in the field right now and forget about Grin? Because that's what you're doing. He's already forgotten about you. See, if you shoot me down right now and I get sent back to that tower, fine, whatever. Maybe I'll find another homestead and do this whole kit and caboodle one more time. But I tell you what, when I go down, I'm gonna go down as me. I'm not gonna get put in the ground by some commoner. Make me forget everything I've done to keep myself alive, to keep the people I love alive. I refuse.
You notice something weird in the way Teddy was just talking about all of this, and then you notice something that kind of strikes you, that you noticed from when you first came in. When you notice that Teddy and Mikhail, while both silver and gold, their pocket watches are a different color, and then it hits you. They both have pocket watches still. They haven't thrown them away. They haven't quit. If they're here with pocket watches and their weapons, they were on a mission here. Roll an insight check.
18?
ClockTower missions have time limits. You can't sit in the farmhouse and eat corn all day. Unless it's a multi-mission. They were here for more than one reason. Which means they would have as much time as they wanted to stay in this farmhouse and the safety of getting to redo it if they failed.
Listen, I can tell you still got a lot of work ahead of you. You had all the time in the world, it seems. You're still here. You're not done yet. You can be done, though.
What, you suggesting I clock out and forget everything? Nice try.
It's not like that. Who you say you are right now is fucked up. Sincerely. I know what y'all been through. I've been through some of it too. You've probably survived a lot more than I have. Why the fuck you keep going on like it, weighing you down? If you forgot who you are, you could be who you were supposed to be in the first place. That's what Grin did, and he was the happiest I've ever fucking seen him. It broke my heart, but it patched it up in a way I didn't believe it could be. It gave me some hope. He wasn't tired anymore. He was doing exactly what he wanted to do. He was with the people he liked. I just wish I could be there for him. I just knew I had more to do. I had more to make up for. He, however, did plenty, especially for me. And so he earned that retirement for himself.
Teddy is real quiet for a second, and he just continues to smile. And he takes a couple steps forward in front of Mikhail, towards the grass, towards Barrett, and says, "All right, if you had your peace with saying goodbye to the person watching your six, to the only person that's been with you through thick and thin, if you're fine with letting him be someone else, letting his soul die, the one thing that the clock tower gives you, the thing you make yourself, fine. But I refuse. You want to know why? I may be some monster by what I've done, but it's the clock tower that made me." And he pulls for his lantern.
Mikhail, after hearing all of Barrett's arguments and hearing about how you guys could have done this, If you really wanted to settle down here, you could have. That retirement might be some sort of peace, and that there's a certain like reality of hearing what you're doing here is fucked sincerely that hits you in a way that I don't think I can really describe. How's Mikhail doing?
I think very early into this conversation, when some heavy points were being brought up, Mikhail has been looking at the ground, looking at his feet, unsure of what to do or who to look for. And I think in this moment, as you reach for the lantern, you hear the clattering of a gun behind you. It's too much. Teddy.
Teddy tilts his head and closes his eyes and turns around, only opening them when he locks eyes with Mikhail. Have you learned nothing?
I can't do this anymore. I can't watch you do this anymore.
You know what, Mikhail? You're gonna have to watch this. You can watch it through the mirror. And he takes his other hand and grabs Mikhail's pocket watch. And
Teddy.
he goes and he clicks it. And as he does so, he says, "When I'm done, you pull me back."
There's a certain clarity that happens in that moment. Teddy, you, in that moment, are sending Mikhail away so that you can handle this, right?
Yeah.
So that you're not gonna have your friend shoot you in the back. You're not gonna let him betray you or himself in the way that he was just about to. And you click the pocket watch, and Barrett, as you see him click the pocket watch, you immediately have a thought go through your head. And Jaeger, down the scope of your rifle, when you see him pull out a watch and click it, all of you go, it's over. They're gonna reset, and that's gonna fuck you guys up like it did when Jaeger, like when Castell reset his watch, it reset you guys, and like your guys' watches can fix that, which is good, but it doesn't happen. But you guys do see Mikhail just like ripped out of existence, almost like he was never there. Like he was there one moment, and then all of you feel like he might have never been there. And that's when it kind of comes full circle for you too, Teddy, that like when you sent him back, you did so as like an impulse. The light was off. You guys' watches should have both been working. It should have pulled your team, should have pulled you both back. And it didn't pull you back. When one agent clicks a pocket watch, the entire team is pulled back to the tower. You're still here.
Teddy kind of closes his fist, feeling for a pocket watch that isn't there. And then he begins to pat himself down, realizing that he just sent his away. Then he kind of looks up to the sky. I see. One last knife to twist the wound. Let's go then. And he grabs at his hip and flings it high into the sky.
So Jaeger's has a bad history with lanterns.
Yeah.
The moment he grabs the lantern and puts it up, Jaeger's gonna fire on the lantern itself.
Right above his head.
Right above his head. May I?
Yeah, so here's the thing. Here's what I'm going to say. I'm just going to make it clear for everybody. Teddy, if he hits this shot, it's real bad for you.
Yep.
If you do hit the shot, Jaeger, it's going to do crazy damage. If you don't, it's going to do crazy damage, and not to Teddy. Barrett, you see it, and it's like, as soon as he grabs it, you see it for the first time, and you know, as soon as it starts going up in the air, that you're dead. So I'm going to say this. Jaeger, the DC is 17.
It's an attack roll?
It is 17. If you hit it, you don't have to worry about damage. You hit it, it explodes right above Teddy.
Let's see what happens. On the dot. Roll the 10 plus 7. And you know what? Fuck it. I'm gonna add a clock tower die to that.
Hold on. I want to save him the clock tower die, because it was actually a 6.
Fucking poor little bitch.
Can Teddy hear the gunshot, quick draw, and shoot the bullet?
Shit.
Yeah, I mean, here's the thing. Mechanically, you already fucked up his shot. So...
But I rolled the clock tower dice, too. You give me a 6?
What'd you get on the die?
It's an 18. I rolled a 5.
Oh, the roll's a 6, plus your bonuses, plus the clock tower die.
I'll let him save it. There's always a faster gun.
Teddy, you pull the lantern off your belt and you give it one, flick over to get the momentum up, and you throw it up. And in that second, you hear the gunshot ring out. In a shot that no human eye could actually perceive, you try to fire and hit the bullet, and you see the, smallest spark go off the bullet as it collides, and it's not enough. And in that moment, you see it hit the crow bomb just as it, goes... And then above your head, though throughout every moment in the Harvest Wars, you had managed to dodge every single crow bomb. You have that moment of thinking the one that finally gets you is your own. What's the last thought that goes through Teddy's head?
Keep on surviving, Mickey.
And then there's this weird explosion sound that Barrett, as soon as you see the lantern struck, you hit the fucking deck, and there's this gray-blue cloud of fire and smoke that explodes out, and you see it hits the house and the silo, and it just, the edges of the wood look burned away, and whatever wood got hit by it just doesn't exist anymore. It's disintegrated, it's gone. And you just hear this screech of a crow as it explodes, just and then all of a sudden there's that crashing sound as the silo starts coming down and it falls towards the house, which is right where Barrett is. And Barrett, right now you are first of all, fuck those things.
Yeah.
And second, you haven't been this close to you may not have ever been this close to one of those things going off. Usually the people who are this close to those things going off fucking die.
Yep.
You're lucky none of the shrapnel hit you.
As I hear wood creaking, I can just see a shadow in front of me moving, which I'm not even going to take the time to look up and see. I assume I did a full fucking dolphin dive. I'm on my belly. I'm going to see if I can try and do a forward somersault and leap off my feet and try and get into a running start away, perpendicular from the falling building. I've done that probably a couple times. I've learned the hard way.
Okay, so you run away from the falling building. You roll an athletics check. It's not a hard check, but it is a check you have to make. Or they're gonna do the rest of this mission without your ass.
18.
You make it. You crash down. Trinket, you're also backing away from this silo, right?
Yes.
You're right next to it.
Yes.
Because all of that shit happened relatively quickly.
Yeah. And I'm probably kind of right next to Barrett, so
Yeah.
I also need to. I'm just gonna go. I'm gonna follow his lead.
It is. I'm not gonna make you make a check because Barrett had come out in between the silo and the house, and you were still behind the silo. So you still have to move, but not nearly as far as Barrett had to. And Barrett kind of does a full sprint and manages to get away from it, and he just about meets up with where you are, and you see that grain silo just crash into the house with the dust that comes out is choking. And it's so thick that Jaeger, for a second, you don't know if Barrett made it out. And then as the dust starts to clear, Jaeger and Sam, you watched, but from a distance, it was kind of hard to see everything. And Trinket, you only listened. But Barrett, you're the only one who knows anything for real because you saw Mikhail get sent back to the clock tower and you saw Teddy just die.
His pocket watch is doesn't exist anymore.
Right. Everything Teddy had probably just got destroyed because the crow bombs destroy everything.
From existence. Cookie cutter from existence.
Right. But the mission is still going.
Damn it, Teddy. You were so close to retirement. You both were.
Fuck! As I throw my axe into the ground and
Sinks into the ground blade first, just standing with the handle up.
And I reluctantly just check my pocket watch one last time.
It's like all the way at 12 and it's not moving.
Yeah, I figured that's what I was gonna see some just like, cool, okay.
Like it's on, it's working. But like, it's like the amount of stuff you have to collect here is crazy.
Is it super smoky still?
There's dust coming up. The grain silo didn't destroy the house. It just kind of collapsed, destroyed itself, and landed on the house. But
there's like clouds of dust obscuring everything. Right?
Yeah.
From kind of like a crouch position, Sam launches 3 dancing lights in the air, like searchlights, and starts walking towards the collapsed grain silo with these beams of light, like trying to find Trinket and Barrett.
You hear the word "fuck" echo out across the grassy fields.
Jaeger's actually gonna use his gun as a cane and stand himself up. Then he's going to look at the results of what his shot did and just kind of go, well, he's not coming back.
Yeah, a bit scarier than a belaying pan.
Yeah, well, you have to always step it up every time.
Maybe, Sam turns around, maybe don't.
No.
I points around, maybe this is enough.
No, I think I have to go harder next time. With that, he's gonna start using his cane to walk back over to the house, because he didn't have a Winchester when he first started fighting him, and now he did. Something's in the house.
Right.
And thing is, Jaeger got what he wanted out of this situation. He's gonna leave Barrett to figure out his own feelings on his own.
Yeah. I mean, Jaeger wasn't wrong, and he knew in that moment it was life or death. Like for Barrett or for...
Never seen what a crow bomb does. It was like, fuck it, I'm not letting it work.
No. Trinket, what are you doing?
I mean, that was a lot. So I think she kind of takes like a moment to like kind of process like, oh, it's over. And as I see Jaeger stumbling towards the house, I will follow him. Because obviously there's more to be done here, and hopefully it's in the house because there's nothing else for miles.
You're all right, Trinket.
I stop and I turn around and I say, I will be.
Yeah. As he closes his pocket watch and looks at the house.
Let's go finish this thing.
Yeah. As he picks his axe out of the ground with a little bit of resistance, puts it in his belt, and looks over into the grass to see the rest of his companions.
I'm gonna say the light eventually finds you. You two okay?
As I hold up my hand, just like, we're all right.
Thumbs up.
All right. No broken bones, right?
No. I wish that's all it was, though.
Are we done? Did you?
Far from it seems.
There's still something else here, and Jaeger's gonna push open the door and walk into the house.
Okay.
There's a lot of skeletons in those closets. Time to start cleaning them up. As I head into the house as well.
I will say, as Barrett walks in, Jaeger's gonna have stopped in the hallway, like looked at all the gunshot residue and seen the hole in the wall that's full of just weapons. He's gonna like look back over his shoulder at Barrett and just kind of. He doesn't look like he's judging you. He just looks like he's. It's not even pitying. It's more along the lines of like, you didn't know. But he's gonna say, he was already gone. There was no coming back from that, and I would know because you could have been me.
He could have had a whole new start. He could have put it down, given him up.
Barrett, come here. Look at this right here. And he's gonna point into this bolt hole in the wall at all of the weapons.
It's in the floor, actually.
Oh, in the floor? All right. Because you opened 2. You opened one in the wall,
Yeah,
the other one was on the floor.
Yeah, that's the thing, that as you guys are kind of looking around the house, and you see the like false panel in the wall and the stash in the floor, and the stash in the floor still has like several other rifles and revolvers and all kinds of other shit. And do you reach down to pick any of them up?
No, I'm talking to Barrett right now, so I'm just like, look at all this. Look at how many people have come through here and been led astray and killed.
I was almost one of them. For one for Gran.
I got real close.
Well, I guess you got your little taste of the Harvest Wars. Just a little. It was far worse than this, but somehow still has the same feeling.
Wish I didn't have to, but look, all I'm saying is this. I've realized today that, yes, I have to be a better person, but sometimes me being better shouldn't get in the way of me also keeping us safe.
Sometimes staying safe is knowing when to quit, as he kicks a chair.
Chair clatters over.
We'll see which one works out the best.
Well, I'm not quitting now, as he starts fucking pulling up floorboards.
Do you grab any of the rifles?
I do, yeah.
As you grab one of the rifles, it disappears, and you hear your clock tower make a little, or your pocket watch make a little tick, and it doesn't move an hour. It moves a minute.
Shit. That's a lot of weapons. Yeah, Jaeger's gonna begin running his hands over the stockpile of items.
You just hear your pocket watch going tick, 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 as each of them like fades away as if they had never been there. And then you look around the house and go, oh no. You guys have to find every single one of the weapons that they stashed and squirreled away in this ruined farmhouse.
Are there anything other than weapons and corn? Is there like
Extra coins?
a book by chance, please?
Rings, probably.
Go ahead and roll.
Natural 20.
No
Please confirm.
way. As you look at the shelf, you know, you've seen a lot of books over the years. Most of them you have no interest in picking up. And then you see the name of an author, Morgan Starr, on the spine of a book. A story you never got to finish a long time ago.
God. As I kind of like brush the spine of the book, feel the cover, and eyes flare as he turns to the exact page that is missing.
It's there, and it's intact.
Closes it immediately before he reads any of the words. Oh, I'm glad I checked before I burnt this fucking place down. And puts it in his coat.
It takes, like, more than hours, guys. You guys finding all of these weapons is, like, not an easy process. For all of the excitement and the adventure and the action of being a ClockTower agent, from going to worlds you've never seen, this is the part that, Barrett, you don't even talk about. The part that is the inglorious tearing a house apart board by board to find every single weapon these guys squirreled away in all of the different places that they could be hiding, rummaging through the rubble of the grain silo for days, eating corn because there's nothing else to eat, and you guys have to eat something.
There was a chicken.
There was a chicken.
Okay, this is very strange for me because I don't go on long missions.
Right.
So I'm like, what is this? How do I eat this?
The
I can
other thing is,
imagine
like-
Trinket being like, how do I hold this corn? The corn
Of a meal to eat for one of your first meals, boiled corn
corn.
is not a great first step.
You know what? I love corn.
You can raise the bar pretty easily after that.
Yeah.
Here's a question I have in D&D a lot of the time. You Kball love corn. What does Trinket think of corn?
You know, corn being Trinket's first food, probably kind of messed up. Corn has a pretty weird texture. The little corn seeds pop in your mouth.
Do you wanna ask the dice? Do you wanna leave it up to chance?
Yeah, so I only got a 7. So
Yeah.
I begrudgingly eat my first food, which is corn. And it reminds me of all of the pain we've gone through. I also imagine, probably for all of us, this experience of going through and having to touch all of these weapons, to make them disappear, to reclaim them, is miserable.
Yeah.
Like, this
not
isn't
great.
like a cool, this is probably a very somber couple of, like, what, like a week?
Yeah.
At least.
And it's not until like 3 or 4 days in that you guys find the basement.
I'm gonna say right now, Jaeger's like eating corn going. It's not like Big Sandwich.
No. It was fine the first day. And you had the chicken with it, and that was good. But now it's just the corn. There's a lot of it, and it's not good.
Another one like this.
Barrett, the hot dogs were decidedly better, even in this short period. And you don't know if you'll ever stomach a hot dog ever again.
Or corn.
Or corn. Not after this, no. But it is around day 4. It's around noon. And Sam, you exhausted with tearing the house apart and digging through the rubble of the silo, have decided to start going around like the outside. Like maybe they put weapons out there, like out where the scarecrow was and out where some of the traps were and stuff. And you find 2 double doors in the ground that are underneath one of the only trees out here. Like one of those old dead desert trees with gnarled branches, and you just see the 2 double doors that the roots have even started to grow around. But it's been opened recently enough.
From all the caution that kind of came with this place, faded probably around the 2nd day. And now Sam walks, almost trudges up to these doors, grabs the wand at their hip, taps the doors twice, and just fires a blast, just to obliterate whatever is standing in their way.
You hear the wood and metal splintering down and making echoing little noises as they bounce downstairs.
They send in a dancing light or 2 just to illuminate the path, make sure there's no tripwires, traps, dead agents,
Okay.
and then move their way down.
As you go down there, you see a sight that is disheartening and at the same time familiar. In this cellar, looks like there is some collection of stored food, stored goods, emergency supplies, but there's notes, blueprints plastered to the walls, the life's work of a madman kind of a deal. And you see scrolls and all kinds of things, design plans for the farmhouse and the lighthouse, all of it built. And there is a leather-bound journal that's got a leather wrap around it that looks like it's been wrapped like so tightly that the pages inside are squished. And as soon as you open it up, there is the smell of decay in here. And as you go down, there's body, ClockTower Agent. He's just face down, rotting in the mud.
Sam slowly, step by step, moves down into this place. And they sit at the bottom step, kind of looking at this ClockTower Agent. And they reach down and they grab the gold pocket watch. Reagan, do you think there's a spell that lets you talk to dead people? I would assume so, right? I mean, like, you can do anything with magic. I wonder if I use that right now, if the agent would come and talk to me, or are they someplace else right now? Or are they just dead here? Do our bodies stay when we leave? Does it get wiped? And they stand up and they wrap this agent in whatever shroud they might have and obliterate them with magic.
Okay. As you wrap this agent up, you get rid of their body. You notice 2 things. They don't have a pocket watch, and their weapons are down here as if they had them on them and they fell out. A flintlock and a small, like, sickle. And afterwards, you start to realize that, like, the culmination of this life's work, whatever madman did all of these, like, drawings, scribblings, etc., it was the lighthouse. That's what all of these blueprints on the walls are building their prototypes, other things, the lighthouse, and the fire inside of it.
Sam goes through and looks at, and at the very least touches, every blueprint they can find, scrolls. They grab onto the journal tightly, look through the pages.
Are you going to read the journal?
Last, after going through and touching as many schematics and blueprints as they can possibly find.
You want to make sure every single piece of this media is in the bookcase, huh?
Yep.
Okay. You do. You methodically make sure you touch everything here. You pick it up just to make sure that it's like, I don't know if the clock tower registers this or not, but you make sure. And then the body's gone. The smell is still here. And you notice that in the corner of the room, there is an old, stained metal chair. And it is chained to the wall. And there are chains at the base of the chair itself, too.
If Sam going through this journal starts while they're alone, probably the first time in a really long time, they start to create illusions to themselves. First, what they think the agent who died down here might have looked like. And then other people that they've seen, maybe not even consciously, just in the background. They create a person who might have been making the schematics, walk them around the room to where they might have looked, and eventually sit them down in the chair, looking at Sam.
Okay. You read the journal?
Mm-hmm.
The first entries of the journal are almost what you would expect. Every day I think about them coming for me. Every day they're going to get closer. There is no way out of this. But I've always been smarter. The owl is in that town. It's not far. I could convince them to come back with me. And the story continues. Through journal entries that span a long time, you learn of a ClockTower agent who came here and knew that the only advantage that other ClockTower agents had on him was that they could do it over. And he was sure that if they were on an even playing field with him, if when he killed them it counted, he could stay here forever. And so he found a way to do it. He found an aspect of the owl, lured them in with friendship, and then captured them here, interrogated them, gave them coins, and basically tortured the information out of an innocent person who is only connected to the owl in order to get the information he needed to build this lighthouse. And then the journal kind of ends with a sort of punctuated statement of, the owl may be dead and my source of information long gone, but the fruits of my labor will keep me safe for the rest of my life. And then a different hand pens the journal.
The atrocities within this basement are, for someone who has seen very many things, a lot to take in. I did what I did to this agent and to every other one that crossed my path, knowing that this is just one of many. Sure, he was a survivor. I can respect that. I'm a man that's done monstrous things for myself and for my only friend in the world. As much as I want to judge this fallen agent before me, I have to consider, would I do the same?
Sam shuts the book decisively and goes to just toss it in the corner, kind of disgusted with it now, and then pauses. A look of frustration and anger, looks into their pocket for a writing utensil, pulls out a tiny piece of charcoal, it's barely a nub, and slams it on the table and just starts scribbling their heart out, all of the things that they know agents could be and not this, all of the reasons why you can walk away, you can change the end to edit to Teddy's story, the end to other agent stories, and how it doesn't matter how many times you've messed up, there is forgiveness and atonement. And Sam hopes that if they eventually stray away from whatever path they're walking on, they'll look in this journal again, if it's even still in there. And when Sam's done, with tears in their eyes, they throw it away, grab the two agents' weapons, and start walking back to the farmhouse.
You hear your pocket watch tick, and then you hear a sound in the distance, and you're almost not sure what it is. And then you realize that it's the clock tower chiming. And Barrett, as you're like slowly moving corn around in a pot, you also hear it. You all do. And then, like a wave washing over you, you're all back in the tower, sitting on the couch.
It is I, Skeleton King! That's right! The powers that be have decided that this is officially our holiday episode! What a tone shift! What does that mean? Well, if I'm reading this correctly, it means really nothing. Just that this episode happens to be releasing at the end of the holidays. There will be a special post-show, though, starring me, Skeleton King, that we're releasing for everyone, not just everybody on Patreon. And if you like the post-show, consider subscribing to the Patreon, because there's a ton of them. And I've recorded this like 3 times. Everyone who is on the Polaroid tier of the Patreon is getting a special holiday letter from me, Skeleton King! But that's not all. Did you ever want to be a clock person yourself? Well, now you can, by taking the same test that every Clock Tower person has ever taken, but now you can take it on the website, and it will give you your own level 1 Clock Tower character sheet. That was a mouthful to say, even for me. That was a lot. Head over to ClockTowerAgent.com and take the path test under the class tab. What else is on this script? Oh my god. We'd love to hear how we'd love to hear how your clock person turns out. Share with us on Discord. I do actually want to hear that. That sounds like it would be good. And a huge thank you to Mike LeMay for programming the test and making it all possible. Now, on to credits, or whatever. If you want to collaborate with Clock Tower, contact us through the Contact Us section of our website. That's a bad line. It doesn't sound good. The website's ClockTowerAgent.com. Barrett was played by Bink, Sam is played by Cal, Trinket was played by Kball, Jaeger was played by Trent, Teddy was played by Valik, and Mikhail was played by James. And I, Ellinthris, wait, why? This wasn't corrected on the script. And Ellinthris was the DM, but I, Skeleton King, was the real star of the show, even though I wasn't in this episode. The voice of our disclaimer is Valik Donahew. You can check out all of his work at patreon.com/TheMatlandDreamer. That guy's my guy. He's my boy. I love that guy. He's Donnie, and he plays a better villain than me. All music from season 1 of Clock Tower made by Who's Music, who made my sick theme. If you want your own D&D character theme, contact them through their website, whosisthis.com. They fucking rock. Static screams, those songs aren't in the update this script.
Just read the thing.
Thank you to our editing team and Cal for making the episodes what they are. Thank you to our sponsor, Alpha Lupine Images, for donating the equipment to help us make more content with better quality. That line is also old. And thank you again for listening. Clock Tower Season 2, Episode... Is this correct?
Yes.
This is correct. Clock Tower Season 2, Episode 24 will be out for all early episode patrons on January 5th and released publicly on January 12th. Till then, time's ticking. See you in the Clock Tower. Well, I won't see you in the Clock Tower, but someone will see you in the Clock Tower, I guess. Because I don't go to the Clock Tower, but Clock Tower agents do go to the Clock Tower, so it's kind of like the sign-off line that they say, because then you see you.
The clock tower is so still and more quiet than it ever has been. Every time you've come back, Teddy kicks off his boots and relaxes on the couch for a little bit between missions. Well, with the exception of the Harvest Wars. And now, as you look back, he's gone. And you know that his pocket watch is with you. And with how he was in that team, he might be gone forever. Unless you save him. And then you look up and the mirror is off.
Mikhail is just slumped on the ground, wordlessly and breathlessly crying as he hopelessly is clicking Teddy's pocket watch again and again and again. Looks into the mirror and only sees himself.